Hello and welcome to Gaming Garnish, the first episode of 2025. Hope you're all having a great new year. Yes.
Happy New Year. Woo.
New Year
2025.
2025. Much the same as 2024 so far.
Yeah, but we're a quarter of a century now.
Oh,
my God, don't say
dear.
that.
No.
We're only 3 days in.
I'm going to bring down the year already.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make it to the next century. So like I did last time. Yeah.
Hey, every year's a new century, just minus 100 years.
Yes, that is a good point.
That is true.
And with that, I'd like to ask you, what are you all looking forward to this year?
Well, I'd like to know who's on the podcast.
Well, tough. People
starting off strong, ladies.
They know who we are now.
Say, I did this last time, Joe. And
Yes.
Start as we mean to go on.
Yeah. They already know who we are. You're Brad.
Hello.
You're Jake.
hello.
And you're Ben.
What's up?
And I'm Joe.
Hi, Joe.
So now,
Hello.
would you like to answer my question, please? And kick off this new year.
What are we looking forward to?
Yes.
So we asked this question in the Discord the other day. I think it was a good question to ask. And I'm basically going to say what I said there. So apologies to anyone in our Discord who's basically already read my answer. But I think the thing I'm most looking forward to this year is finding out about more games. There's not that much announced that is definitely coming up this year. And even the games that are announced for coming out this year, you can never be sure. So I feel I've kind of stopped getting invested in release dates, and I'm more interested to see what new things are we going to see this year. What games do we know are in development that we've not really seen anything for? What we're going to get revealed this year. So I want to see more about Gears E-Day. I want to see more about the new Fable. I want to see more about GTA 6. Even Ghost of Yotei is supposed to come out this year, but
What do we know?
But I'm looking forward to seeing the gameplay of it.
I do see your point.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to hearing more about and seeing more from the games we know are coming, but we don't know when, and new reveals.
Well, before I jump into my bit, I already know there is one game definitely coming this year, and Joe is very excited for it. What is it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Is it Beer Simulator?
It's not. It's called iBeer, and it came out in the great year of 2009.
An iPod Touch.
iPod Touch.
Again, sorry, Discord. You already had all these jokes.
Yes.
So, Joe, what are you looking forward to? Enlighten us.
Well, as everyone knows, I'm the biggest Monster Hunter fanboy in this podcast and Discord, probably. Until, someone else pops in and tries to slash me head off with a long sword. But, yeah, Monster Hunter in February. I've got to get a lot of gaming in before then because there's going to be nothing else after that.
Yeah,
It'll just
I think
be Monster Hunter.
With that being such a close release date, I think you can be pretty confident that even if it slips, which I don't think it will, but if it did slip, I think it would slip still into this year.
The only thing I think that would delay it is getting it ready for PC.
Yeah.
Because they've had a lot of performance issues with it there. Yeah. They fixed most of them, but you can never really fix everything for PC because everyone's on such different systems.
Yeah, they might delay just PC, but
yeah. The other thing I'm looking forward to is if they're going to do a second demo, which they've not announced that they're going to do, but they did with World. There was 2. There was one that was where you hunted 3 different monsters, and then they brought out another one later down the line, which was just hunting Nergigante, but it was really hard. It was harder than it was in the main game.
If they do another one, I might try and jump on that because I'd like to see what they've changed.
Closer to release as well.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And it might not be as chuggy on the servers because so many people were trying to get on.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's definitely Ghost of Yotei. You make a good point, Brad. A lot of these games, this is probably one of the only years, well, maybe just being more in the know. A lot of games have been announced to come out 2025 with no actual release date. Mm. Are they going to come out? I don't know.
Well, look at the weird trailer setup that's been for Fable. I mean,
they've never given a year on that. To be fair,
the IT guy crowd, I can't remember his name.
Boss.
Yeah, there was a CG trailer with that in. Have we had any game footage yet? Because it just suddenly seems to
No,
off.
there's
Like
been
we
like
can't see.
tiny little sections of what people think are gameplay in the
Mm.
trailers, but it's hard to tell.
Then again, though, maybe this is a good thing because are we getting too many? I'm going to use air quotes leaks all the time about information we don't need about a game coming,
Yeah.
and then it
That's
ruins the
been-
game.
Yeah. I suppose I think that's been a story as old as time. I think.
People need to stop
Yeah.
bringing us trailers when it's like 3 years away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and
Yeah,
speaking of
true.
leaks, have you guys been keeping up with the Nintendo Switch?
Well,
2?
this is one thing I was going to bring up in a second. We know that's coming this year. They have
Yeah,
said
just
as
when.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know when. I am looking forward to seeing more from that, but I don't know how excited I am because I don't think it's going to be much different.
Well, there's a lot under wraps for it. Like,
Yeah.
we don't know if there's any games coming out with it. Is Metroid Prime 4
And I
gonna
think
come
that's
out
what
with
I'm
it?
more looking forward to, rather than the Switch 2 itself. What Nintendo games, what new
what's its
Mario
lineup?
game, what Mario Kart, Mario Kart 9, is that going to be a thing? Is it going to be 8
Yeah.
Deluxe 2? Or I don't know. But that's what I am looking forward to.
Yeah, well,
and seeing the price. Price is
definitely.
going to be a big thing.
Definitely. Well, with,
Yeah, I'm
like,
interested to see the price point. Definitely.
with Mario Kart, like, they keep they're still releasing stuff for that game. They're still
Are they?
They're
releasing.
finished now, I think.
They were
But
releasing loads of DLC tracks.
they were, but I think that finished last year. But even so, last year, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
Or maybe the year before, but it was
So
up
what
until
happens?
recently.
They bring out a new one, and you haven't got all the tracks.
Yeah,
again.
I don't think they'll do a Smash Bros because they've not set that precedent with like Smash Bros. Pretty much every time the roster grew, and you lost a few of the licensed characters that you kind of expected,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it
yeah.
mostly just grew. Whereas Mario Kart every time's been different. There's been
Yeah.
different tracks every time, and then
And
some
different
classics.
characters.
Exactly. So I don't think they've set the precedent to keep everything.
No, that's true.
I think there'll just be 8 Grand Prix again, like there always is.
Yeah, and then they'll
It's
maybe
definitely
add
going to be
it.
Cappy as a character, though, driving a car. It's just his eyes on the front of it.
That'd be quite a cool mechanic if you could throw Cappy and take over another.
Oh, is one of the
A
power-ups,
new
yeah.
item. Yeah, wow. Good idea, Joe. You need to go work at Nintendo.
I feel like that was
Hey, my uncle
idea.
works at
Okay.
Nintendo, actually.
Gaming Garnish. Hire us Nintendo.
Yeah.
Just don't sue us.
Sorry, Jake, I cut you off there. Carry on.
Also, Doom the Dark Ages. I really,
Yes.
really want that to come out this year, but
I feel like we've not heard enough for
yeah,
me to
again.
guarantee it's
Yeah,
coming
I really
out
thought that
again.
was going to come out last year.
Well, they did say 2025. in
Oh,
the
did they?
trailer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only one that I know for certain's coming this year is Split Fiction
Yes,
in March.
and I'm very excited for
So I'm
that.
very excited for that. And then there's
Again,
a
though,
load
it's
of
'cause it's early.
yeah,
It could slip, but it's early, so it's probably going to be this year.
yeah. There's a lot of other ones. It's just hopefully they come out this year. We know Avowed's coming out pretty soon.
Mm.
I'm tentatively looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Last Berserker.
Kazan, yeah.
Kazan, yeah, that looks pretty good. Hoping that comes out this year. Metroid Prime 4, already mentioned Fable. GTA 6, will it get delayed? We'll see.
Well, we just need to hear more.
Yeah.
Anything.
But I'm sure we'll probably delve into this in our special segment that's coming up.
Now your excitement has built up. Would you like to tell me what you played over this holiday season, Jake?
Jay.
Me first. Okay. So, a lot. Christmas is a time where you have more time than usual. Sometimes.
Absolutely not.
There's a small space where
There's a window.
you've got no time for doing anything.
Yes, yeah.
You're super busy with Christmas, or
Yeah.
in my case, painting. But after that, for me anyway, it just opens up. And
So,
it's just all gaming.
I think I've probably played like 5 different games, but I'm going to try and touch on 2 now. And I'll probably get forced to talk about another one because I know Ben's been playing one.
He
of the games
says
I've
it
been
like
playing.
he's forced. Come on.
He's been waiting for this.
twist your arm.
So, before Christmas, I actually managed to squeeze in a small little game called Gris. You guys heard of that?
Oh,
Yes.
yes. The
Is that
prequel
how
to
it's
Never.
pronounced? Does it ever say it?
It never says it because it's the only like audio you would hear from the woman or any cutscenes is her singing. You don't really hear anything else.
Ah.
Yeah, and that's only near the end as well. So, but fantastic. I basically picked it up because we've been looking at Never,
Never.
and I really want to play that. And Gris is their first game,
Yes.
and it's always been in the background for me. And I've always thought, oh, maybe I'll play it one day. But my wife was looking for a game to play herself as well. And we were looking at loads of like artsy indie games. Like we've downloaded What Remains of Edith Finch. We haven't started it yet. But that's on our list to play now as well. But Gris was one of them. And when we were scrolling through these games, I was like, well, we should play that. We've been looking at Never. Let's give this a go. So my wife actually played it first. And I watched a little bit of her play it. And I was like, I need to play this myself. This looks good. This looks too good to not play.
How does it play? Because like looking at it, as you say, very artsy. And
Yeah,
it looks
yeah.
like a very lovely game.
Mhm.
But what you doing in it? Because
Yeah, is it a
what I don't know.
platformer? Is it a puzzler? Is it?
It's a platform puzzler.
Is it a hardcore
Okay.
action game?
Yeah, what? Sorry.
Hardcore action game.
No, there is no combat.
Okay.
So you
At
can't
all?
die, no combat at all.
Okay.
It's all about platforming, puzzling, and in some ways, it kind of starts like a walking simulator. Not gonna lie, especially one of the first puzzles is kind of I say puzzles, but you're walking through like a desert almost. And
Puzzle.
then,
Put one foot in front of the other.
yeah, and then this like wind comes and it'll like push you back. So you've got to figure out ways of not getting pushed back, and then you eventually get a power up almost. That
Dude, you're not
helps.
selling this to me.
It's good. It's basically a 2D. I would describe it as a 2D.
Oh, it's 2D?
platformer. Yeah, 2D
Okay.
platformer puzzler,
And it's quite short.
and it's quite short. We finished it. I think Dulcie finished it in maybe 4 hours. I think I finished it in 3 because I kind of
'Cause
saw
you're
her do a bit.
gamer.
Pro gamer as well.
Is it quite similar to that Monument Valley game?
No,
No.
I wouldn't
Wait,
say so.
there's no combat in that, and you can't die, but you can like get yourself stuck in situations.
I've never really played Monument Valley, but from what I've seen, it's kind of like 2.5D or something. Isn't
No,
it?
it's isometric.
Isometric.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the word I'm looking for.
So
yeah.
is you can't die, but is there a fail state? Like Joe was saying, then if you fail the puzzle, will it be like, all right, reload?
No, actually, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think there is a way. No, the only things that ever does is it like pushes you back.
So kind of like Jason. Like
In a way, it did
Yeah.
remind me a lot of Jusant,
Yeah.
to be fair, because I've said before, Jusant's kind of like a perfect palate cleanser. This very much is a perfect palate cleanser too. And I played it on Christmas Eve, finished it in one day,
Nice.
got the platinum as well because that was pretty easy to do. But it's stunningly beautiful. The soundtrack is really like gave me a bit of goosebumps almost.
It's very
while
airy
playing
and
it.
like synthy and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
reverby.
definitely. Very relaxing, but then all of a sudden it'll like become very epic and your hair stand on end.
Cool. And it's made you excited for Never then.
Yeah, definitely. It never does have combat from what I've seen, so I'm very much looking forward to that. But yeah, it's a very short game. The puzzles can get quite interesting as well. Some of it is a bit walking simulatory, but
It's not a bad thing.
it's
though.
not always a bad
Yeah.
thing. And then I just found it really like captivating. It kind of blew me away how good it looks. It's definitely an advocate for games are art.
And that's what I've heard about
Yeah.
it. Definitely.
Definitely. You're unlocking colours as you go as well. That's kind of like the premise. So
Whoa.
yeah. So you get red at first. But there's this like story in the background because I think she's lost. It's very subtle, the story, but I think she's basically lost her mum, and she's lost her voice in the process as well. So there's a button to sing, but you can't sing for most of the game.
Oh,
You just hear it go like,
yeah.
"Ah," and she can't.
Do it again. Do it again. I thought you were getting better than
Go,
you were
goes.
getting your voice back. But
Coco's at the door, crying.
Coco's my dog, by the way, guys. For anyone listening.
Not Crash Bandicoot's sister.
No, named after them. Throw them out. But yeah, I'd highly recommend it. It's pretty good, guys.
Good.
If you're looking for a palate cleanser, this is the one. It was free on PS Plus, so don't know if it's on Game Pass.
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think I've seen it on there before.
yeah. But if you're looking for a palate cleanser, that's the one.
Cool.
That's the one. Now I think Brad's going to jump in on my next game anyway.
Oh.
Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
We gave it a good
Marvel
go.
Rivals.
We gave it a good go.
Yeah, so we had played a little bit before Christmas. I sort of before I think on the last episode, I think I talked about it very briefly.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think I'd started it at this point.
Yeah, but we've played it a bit more since then.
Yeah, yeah.
Enjoying it.
It's good. It's basically It feels like how Overwatch felt when I first played it.
Yes.
Maybe
the
not
OG.
quite as good.
I think Overwatch had it was very refined. There was
Yeah.
only, when it launched, I don't know, 20 characters, if not, probably less.
Yeah.
And they all felt very, very distinct.
Definitely.
And everything felt like everyone had the place. Even though no one knew what they were doing at first, it didn't feel messy. Whereas this...
There was no overlap in skills or anything, was there?
This feels a little bit more hectic and messy. Now, maybe that comes from Overwatch was a paid-for game in a new universe that the people who were picking it up probably knew a bit about it. Whereas this is a free-to-play game in the Marvel universe that people are just going to fly towards. Maybe it's just a case of people don't know what they're doing, so it becomes hectic.
Yes.
But at the moment, I've definitely noticed playing it the other day with you, it was less hectic than when I first started.
I feel
people
like
are learning what they like to play.
Yeah, and obviously we're
learning how the
as
characters play as well, because that's a big thing. Like some of them are really easy to use. Scarlet Witch, Punisher, they're really easy characters to use.
Yeah, and they each have difficulties, which is a nice touch.
Yeah, they tell you how hard they are to play. And
it did have that in Overwatch at the beginning. Like I remember Symmetra being like the hardest one to learn, like 3-star difficulty.
I think you're right, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's a 5-star difficulty, and
damn.
is solid to play as.
Is that just because it's so mobile?
Basically,
don't know where you're going.
When you get a good Spider-Man,
you can tell.
do really good. Yeah.
I've tried to play Spider-Man and I'm terrible.
Pretty just bad at the game, to be honest. But I very much enjoyed playing with you. I think playing with someone makes it's just like most games, makes it so much better when you're not playing a multiplayer game by yourself.
Yeah, and when you start doing well, it's really good. Like we did a game the other day, I was Winter Soldier and you were Iron Man.
Yeah, that was ace.
And we were just clean and sharp. It was great.
And that's the thing, when you, like, I was playing Iron Man that game and I was playing well, I felt like Iron Man. It does a really good job, especially with some heroes. Some heroes not so much, but definitely a lot of heroes make you feel like that character.
I wanted to get into that because I feel like it's hard not to in fact, I think it's impossible not to compare it to Overwatch.
Yeah.
Because of what it is. But it's clearly heavily inspired by, and a lot of the characters' movesets are clearly heavily inspired by that as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is to the detriment of the Marvel character itself.
I agree. I think what happened is when you've got a genre that's created essentially by one game, that game sets the precedent, that sets the baseline. And then from any hero shooter going forward, you need a shield character. You need a character that doesn't really aim, it locks on with the powers. You need a hero, like Symmetra or Scarlet Witch. You need this type of hero and that type of hero. You need these characters. And for some, it works. Yeah. So like Punisher is your Soldier 76 type character, shooting guy, works perfectly for that.
But it's also got Bastion's turret.
Yeah, Overwatch. but it does kind of work.
It does
for that character. Yeah. And it's over the top. It's kind of anime,
Yeah.
But then you've got other characters like Doctor Strange, I feel like shouldn't be a tank and has been kind of forced.
Doctor Strange is a tank?
Wow.
Yeah.
I never expected that.
And he's been kind of forced into
I thought he'd be Caster,
if
anything.
He's got a big shield.
And
it looks very Doctor Strange. It looks like a Doctor Strange shield.
He can still make portals and
he can still make portals. He can still do all that. So what they've done is they've not taken like Reinhardt and made a Marvel character out of Reinhardt, but they've taken Reinhardt's shield, then they've taken Symmetra's
turrets.
Portals. No, the portals.
Yeah.
And I don't know anyone else, but they've basically taken abilities from different characters and melded them together into a sort of Marvel character. And it makes it a bit interesting, don't get me wrong.
Definitely. I can kind of get it as well to a point, especially with healers. Because healer's probably the most
generic, maybe not generic.
It's the weirdest. Some of the characters, like Rocket Raccoon's a healer. So he's got a big minigun.
He's a support hero.
Yeah, but then he can heal as well. And then he has his robot that can bring people back to life. And I'm like,
it doesn't really work.
Sound like Rocket. Yeah, it doesn't sound like Rocket.
I would have had Groot as the healer in the team, if anyone.
Groot's a tank,
which does kind of make sense.
Yeah,
but Rocket Raccoon can then do some Rocket Raccoon stuff, like get on the back of Groot.
He can, and he can fly with his jetpack
and climb on walls a little bit.
Yeah, and he's still got a minigun, so he still like shoots with his minigun, but he doesn't do that much damage.
No. Just little bits of refinement, like Hulk can't do. I think he can do a clap, can't he?
Yeah,
well, he's got no range.
No, he's obviously a melee character, but there's certain Hulk-like abilities I feel like he doesn't have, but instead he can give people shields.
Yeah.
Isn't really hulky.
it's kind of Bannery, Bruce Bannery, but it's not Hulk.
Yeah.
And then he has Diva's ability too, where when he dies, he turns into Bruce Banner,
Which works.
which works.
I think that works. So some of them work really well, but
Yeah.
what I was saying before, like when I was playing as Iron Man, I was like, I feel like Iron Man because I'm doing well. But when you play as, say, Iron Man again and you just keep getting wrecked because they've got Hawkeye or something, they keep nailing it out of the sky, then it feels crap. Because you're like, it should be so much more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, that works.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, because
He's
it did have all
slightly
those different kinds of arrows.
Yeah.
He is slightly different. His ult's really cool, actually. It's like, and you almost leave an after image when you move. So
other people
do.
Image,
so you activate your ult, and you can see the after image of other people. And if you hit the after image, you do damage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you have to aim at them to do damage.
No, and they're like static as well.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. And there's some cool imagery, like Doctor Strange, his ult is Ace. I don't know if you've seen it, but he does like a big like AoE cast, and what that does is it knocks the souls out of all the enemies.
Yes, I have seen that.
So like a green version like flies out of them, and then you can hit the souls. So it happens very quick. You don't really get much time to hit them, but if you paired that with someone else, you would essentially hit everyone twice, because if you hit the soul and the person, you're doing double damage.
Yeah.
So it's a really clever way of like teaming up ults. And talking about team ups, you've also got team up abilities where two characters come together that makes sense in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And they get some sort of buff. So Rocket Raccoon buffs the Punisher by giving him unlimited ammo. And these team ups really work well. The Hulk has a team up with Wolverine where he can grab him and throw him.
I've seen that meme so many times, taking out an Iron Man in the air.
Yeah, there's so many cool little things like that, which do set it apart from Overwatch. I just feel like there's that little bit.
Can all characters team up in some way or not?
No.
There's usually a team up with every character has a team up.
Yes. Sorry.
But it's not like you have to match them. So like Iron Man also has one with Hulk.
Yeah.
Where he gets like a his pulse array becomes like gamma-ified. But like
so does damage over time?
I'm not too sure. I think
just
more damage.
Oh, okay. And Venom has one with Spider-Man where Spider-Man gets like Venom abilities. Like goes black goo and all that.
But then like Venom doesn't get anything from
I think he
Spider-Man.
gets a bit of a health boost.
Okay. But then like Venom doesn't pair with Hulk. So it's not like because you've got 6 people on your team. You're kind of thinking about the team ups when you go into the game as well. So I'll usually like wait and go, well, what are people picking? And,
but then if everyone's waiting to do the same thing, then the match never gets started.
Well, there's like quality of life things where people can request team ups.
Okay.
And request you play as a certain character. So all the like basic quality of life features pretty much are in it from the beginning. And I think with that little bit of tweaking to some of the character kits, but then also some of the messiness of it which might come over time. I think that will nail it.
That's the best description of its flaws is that it just feels so messy. It almost comes across as janky, but I don't think it's necessarily janky. It's just fast and a bit of a mess.
And there's a lot of characters to balance out there as well.
Oh, there is.
Seems like
so many characters. So many more. Like it's ridiculous. We'll go into that in the news. But
I mean, and they all look cool as well.
The art design is ace. It's unique but recognizable.
It's like anime-ified Marvel characters.
Yeah, some of them look cool. And the skins look ace. The monetization's not great.
Yeah, I will say that is definitely not good.
But what do you expect? It's a free-to-play game. You get a lot. All heroes are free. You're not having to unlock them or buy them. So
also quickly mention destructible environment as well. So that adds a whole new...
Oh, that's quite unique for a hero shooter.
Yeah, it's not like everything. So sometimes there's like blocked off lanes with like a destructible pillar in front of them that there's a button you can click that highlights all the destructible environments, but most people, I think, know it's there but forget to use it. So sometimes these lanes that you can't see down have something destructible in front of them, and if you know, you can sort of like destroy it once, say, the enemy team have gone past it or something, so you can sneak behind or sort of set them up because they think they've got this big piece of cover, when in reality they don't. You just destroy it and shoot through them, and that works really well. It works well for like Iron Man. It worked well for Punisher. If you're like hunkered down with your turret, you can get some good sight lines with it. So
it's not only certain characters like tanks that can break down the big stuff.
I think it's pretty much everyone.
I mean, Hawkeye's a bit, if you're shooting arrows at walls, they still come down a little bit, but like
Not as good.
Not as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could use your explosive arrows probably, but
yeah. But yeah, I mean, just to round this off, I think it's more of a casual game than Overwatch.
yes, there
You
is
don't
a,
feel sweaty when you're winning.
no.
Yeah.
There is a ranked mode that we've not played,
Yeah.
or I don't think.
My cousin mentioned it to me the other day, so he's already diamond ranking it after 87 hours.
Wow.
Jeez.
87 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
He played a lot at Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to play the lot of us though. And
Yeah,
get a bit
it'd be
more of
fun.
A big team
It'd be
going.
fun.
I think that'll be good.
I think I'm just going to keep an eye on it for now. It's not like I don't think it's the best game ever made,
No.
obviously.
But it's fun to dabble.
But it's just fun to like jump in now and again and
Yeah.
just have a bit of fun when
when
you've got
new
like
heroes come out.
20 minutes or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm going to leave it
That's
there,
you.
guys.
Yeah, pass it on to Brad because he's already sharing your limelight.
He is. Go
Well,
for it, Brad.
as I alluded to before, I had a lot of time off over Christmas, and unfortunately, a lot of it was spent painting.
Is this them skirting boards again?
No, this is the walls. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, there's our
I'm
dogs are
surprised
filthy.
Ben hasn't come in with Painting Simulator.
Yeah.
Well, there's jet wash
House
simulator,
flipper.
which is the opposite. But
There is one I'm looking forward to that I should have mentioned before in the looking forward tos. There's a game coming to Steam, and you basically do up a 90s flat block as cheap as you can in Poland. It's a Polish game, and you basically go to the DIY shop and buy the wrong stuff or the cheap stuff, like drills set on fire and all sorts, and like expanding foam the wrong size window in and things like that. It looks great.
well, I've had enough of DIY in my own life. But the walls are painted, and with that, I managed to play loads of games after Christmas. So I'll probably only touch on some of these. Some I want to go into a bit more. So first thing, me and Lucy over Christmas finished all of the Witcher DLCs.
Very
Wow.
nice.
That's good going.
Yeah, I don't know where we were up to last time I spoke about it.
I think when we did
You
Game
just
of the-
met David Beckham.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, and you gave us some spoilers, didn't you?
Yeah.
So finished Hearts of Stone, really enjoyed that DLC, really good story, good
Yeah.
ending. It was quite a straightforward DLC. It was basically just
It's all about the story.
There's not much side stuff in it, is there, in
Exactly.
Hearts of Stone?
How did you do with the frog at the start?
the frog. Oh, the frog was hard.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Bogdo.
Definitely.
I'll go back now.
What's with these giant frogs in video
I
games?
know, but to be fair, that whole story was really good. But the bosses were piss hard.
Yeah, you were texting me a lot.
Yeah,
at
there was
Christmas.
one. It was like a wraith in a hallway, and she went into paintings.
Yeah.
And the idea is if one of the paintings lights up, I think there was 6. You have to destroy the painting before she gets to it, otherwise she heals all of her health.
Yes.
Oh
Not
my
just
god, that's
me.
like the Forest Temple
All
from
of her
Ocarina of
health.
Time.
Yeah. Pain in the arse. The problem with it, the way Witch Combat's set up, is if there's one enemy, you'll be on lock on, and you can't deactivate the lock on.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
So every time you go to hit the painting, you can't lock onto the painting. You'll swing and you'll turn around and try and swing at the wraith. So it's really hard to take the painting. The only way was with
Igni.
the crossbow. No, Igni, he kept turning around as well.
Ah.
Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't.
You
I
know,
thought
like,
because you can
hold it,
free aim the flamethrower one,
free
can't you?
aim.
You can, but he still locks on. You can't.
Yeah, then you'd have to turn
Like,
it around.
it's a
Yeah.
pain. And there's a bit of a wind up for it. And that's the easiest way was crossbow.
Yes.
But I didn't realize till I'd already failed at it multiple times. But really, really good DLC. Got what I'd consider the best ending. Really enjoyed that. So then
Yeah.
we moved on to the Blood and Wine, which was, I don't even know if you can call it a DLC. It was huge. It was another game.
This is kind of like what I was saying about Elden Ring, Shadow of the
Yeah.
Earth Tree getting nominated. I was like, well, if that's got nominated, why hasn't Blood and Wine got nominated?
Well,
Past.
I think had Blood and Wine came out now, it probably would be.
Yeah.
I think-
Times have changed.
exactly. Times have changed. But it
Lines are blurring.
was a mammoth DLC.
It is
Whole new
big.
map. The story was probably about as long as Hearts of Stone.
I think it's a bit longer, maybe.
Maybe a bit longer,
Yeah.
but not like loads longer. But it's all the side stuff.
Yeah.
Loads more side stuff to do. Whole new armor set to get. And just had a really good time. Grinded, not for the best armor set, but like the next one down for the master gear rather than the grandmaster gear. So grinded all that, which, believe it or not, Lucy actually enjoyed.
What
Me
school?
grind.
Griffin, Bear?
Bear.
Bear. Yes,
he
that's
has the
one.
most health. And it looked the coolest.
I've literally got a statue in this office
I knew I recognised
that
it.
we're sat in right now of Geralt with the Ursa and
Ursine.
Ursine,
Yeah. But yeah,
I was always Griffin School, me, always with the signs,
was it? Yeah.
getting
Nice.
boosted.
Yeah, because I really like Quen, and that boosted Quen as well.
the
Bear
better
School.
one did. But yeah, really, really enjoyed the DLC. And after I think 77 hours of whole playtime, not just DLC, but 77 hours of full playtime, got to the end and got probably the worst ending. So I was fuming, and it was because of one dialogue exchange that I literally was umming and ahhing between two options. And had I picked the other option, I would have got the best ending. But because I picked the wrong one, the worst thing happened. And my last save was too far back to go back and change it. So
I thought it'd be one of them where you dialogue what you thought didn't matter ages ago, made the ending different.
It kind of, but it wasn't that long.
To be
ago.
fair, what Brad's saying here is the end of Blood and Wine's DLC ending, not the whole game.
Yes, the whole game, the main game, I got the best ending. The first DLC, I got the best ending. Second DLC, I think I got the worst ending.
Yeah, you had it coming.
It just kind of had it added like a sour end to it all. But it's not that it was bad. It was still it was a good ending, entertaining to watch, but it was a bit depressing. But really enjoyed it. Now, when I first started Witcher, or when I said I was going to play it, it was going to do the main campaign. I know it's a long game. Probably not going to touch the side content. Definitely not going to do the DLCs.
Yeah.
And in the end, I did everything. Well, not everything, but I did all the main side quests. Both DLCs. I really did love it. So I recommend anyone else who's thinking of playing it, do the same.
Game ever made.
Yeah, do the same. It was.
I'm so glad
it was great.
I mean, we sort of talked about this on our Game of the Year episode. Go and watch that. I'm just so glad you really liked it, and the DLCs too. I think the DLCs are very, very good, but for two different reasons.
Yeah, definitely.
Hearts of Stone's story is so dark and
it
goes places, and
creepy.
it's creepy, but it's fun at the same time.
Yeah.
It throws weird scenarios at you, like you're getting possessed and all that.
yeah. That did go on for a bit too long.
Yeah,
not gonna lie. But
and then, but then Blood and Wine's the whole new map. I don't think I enjoyed the story as much, but it's still a very good story. But that whole new map and like it almost like the main game is very. I'm gonna say realistic. I know it's not.
It's more dark fantasy, whereas the DLC is more like
high fantasy.
Yeah, it's princesses and princesses.
Yeah, it looks like a fairy tale.
This
place.
The art style does change a little bit, doesn't it? In that
it does. It's much more bright. It's very like Mediterranean. Yeah,
it's cool to see that side of the world.
Definitely. And then you get your own like villa quite early on, so that's another sort of aspect to game. But like, it introduces loads of new stuff to gameplay.
Yeah, good ending for Geralt's story as well.
Yeah, nicely ties it off. So really, really enjoyed it. Now, after finishing that, we're at a bit of a loss what to do. So me and Lucy have finally decided to go back to Alan Wake and play the DLC. Now I'm going to touch on that.
DLC Christmas.
It has been a DLC Christmas. I'm going to touch on that in another episode because we've only just started that.
Yeah.
But I'll touch on that later. As for the main game I've been playing over Christmas, so I started Final Fantasy 16.
Yes.
Not 7 Rebirth, Jake.
You've got time. You've got the rest of this year, the rest of next year until part 3 comes out.
It'll take me a long time to get to that, but I've been eyeing this one up for ages. I started, there's a demo, I think it's probably still live.
I think so.
When the game originally came out, I played the demo, and the intro was so moving and captivating that I couldn't wait to get back to playing it. And it had a really like emotional end. I thought that was ace. If ever when you get to playing it, you can carry on from your demo progress. And I knew then, I was like, I'm not going to do that. Gonna start it again because it was such like a powerful beginning. Even though I knew everything that happened, I still did that. And played through it again, and it was just as poignant this time. It was, a really emotional beginning, but now I could obviously continue and play more of the game. And I think as we speak, I think I've got about 14 hours on it.
Okay, nice.
Really, really enjoying it. I think it's a massive game. It feels like any other game could be coming to an end, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
You're reaching the 1/3 point.
I probably am. Now,
Have you started doing pointless side stories yet? Like
there's
cleaning?
loads of pointless, yeah, and these are entirely side stuff. The side stuff in it I had heard beforehand was pretty crap, and to be honest, it is. It is little things like, can you deliver these meals to these people? But they are just side stuff.
Is it just money and
Wearing a
XP?
Just Eat
It's
t-shirt.
just money and XP, yeah, and it doesn't make you do that in the main campaign or anything. It's literally just entirely side stuff. There are other side stuff where I think it's identified with the cross that I think are more important ones. I've only seen one and I've done it, and that got me a chocobo.
All right, there you go.
The first one.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's the only one you get. So they're like main side quests.
I see.
But I've just been basically playing through the main campaign. Now, a lot of it, like you sort of like markers, or you got icons, they're called. They've all got different names in all Final Fantasies, which are like your big
Summons, basically.
Summons, your big creatures. I think every Final Fantasy has them, but they're all called different things.
I think a lot of the time they're called summons, but I've mixed it up a few. I don't know because I haven't played many.
But then each one has the same names, I believe.
Yeah,
I think
Ifrit.
Is in like all of them. Yeah. So a lot of the game is you kind of your ability wheel, if you will. You're getting different abilities from different icons. So instead of summons in other Final Fantasies, in this one you're getting icon abilities. I've only got 3, and I'm pretty sure looking at the wheel, there's quite a few. So I think I've got quite a long way to go yet. But really enjoying it. The combat at first I really liked. Then it started to get a little bit repetitive. But then
how does it play out minute to minute? Is it turn based?
No, it's an action game. It's just literally a character action game.
So I've heard it doesn't play like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
So I think
just action.
I think the lead combat designer was the same as Devil May Cry 5.
Oh, that sounds good.
And he did say this was his favorite combat he's ever done. Now I don't think it's as good as Devil May Cry 5. For many reasons, but it still plays really fluidly. Like you've got your square light attack, you've got your triangle like ranged attack. Circle has a different ability depending on your icon, and then if you hold R trigger, you've got 2 big abilities to use. So think God of War abilities with your different weapons sort of thing. You've always got your runic abilities.
Yes,
you've always got 2 of them per icon. Now at first, when you've only got one icon, it gets a bit repetitive. You can only pick 2 abilities per icon, so I think there's 4 for each icon total. So, but you have to pick 2 to stick with.
Can you switch them on the fly?
You can switch them out of combat.
Okay.
But in combat, no, you can't. But when you've got, say, 3 icons I have now, you can have 6 abilities. And if you put enough points into an ability, you can use that across other icons. So it's a bit of a complicated thing.
So you can end up using...
You could end up having all the abilities from one icon if you wanted.
Right.
But I'm not that far yet, so I'm not got it. But the more stuff I'm unlocking, the more, it's very spectacle driven. Some of these abilities look insane.
Yeah, I can imagine.
There's one I've not unlocked, but you can see it from the preview window, and it makes like a massive tornado, but like a huge tornado, and it sucks like everything in. I'm like, that looks ace.
When you do it, does it like activate a cutscene each time you do it, or do you just
it's just like
it just happens in combat?
It just happens in combat. It's just like a normal game. Now there is cutscene based like sections in fights that are very cinematic, very cool, very QTE, but you don't really care because they look so cool. They're mad. And I kept thinking how to phrase this, but some of the boss battles in this, if God of War, you could say God of War crawled, so this could run. Some of these fights are insane. Like you're fighting these massive, sometimes you're fighting an icon as your main character, and it's a stupid spectacle, but then you might become an icon. And then you're this massive beast against this other massive beast. And it just becomes this like huge spectacle fight. And it's like you're controlling it, and then it'll like seamlessly switch to a cutscene, and then you'll be like hellfire attack, and then a massive ball, and it's like some of the coolest some of the coolest spectacle fight I've ever seen in games ever.
And then 10 minutes later, delivering milk down the road for a side quest.
Yeah, it's quite nuts. But it's so...
I think that's just Final Fantasy.
It's so insane. Like, you've got to watch some of it or play it. Or preferably play it. But then it's so melodramatic as well as the story goes.
Oh yeah.
So melodramatic, like really intense. The stakes are really high. It's got such like a dour mood all the way through. Like anytime there's like a speckle of hope, it's crushed immediately.
Oh my God.
It's really dark. It's kind of like imagine Game of Thrones mixed with Final Fantasy. That's what
Okay.
they're going for.
That's cool.
but-
I'll be interested to play it. Like once you finished it, I'm gonna have to borrow it.
I think
I
you
want to
should.
compare it to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth
Yeah, because not played any others.
because I've heard like obviously mixed things about both at this point.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the mixed things I heard about this one is it
They sound
didn't
completely
feel-
different
yeah.
almost.
People said this one doesn't feel like Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And I kind of get that because it's much more like mature in its delivery.
It's
you
not
know?
as goofy.
Yeah, and there's no party mechanic. There is, in a way, you do have a party, but you can't choose who's in your party. You can't control them. They'll just do their own thing.
Do you manage their inventory?
No, you don't do
No.
anything. with
Oh,
them.
wow.
The only one you do is that there's like a wolf, and you can tell a wolf to attack or heal. Like
Oh
on the
right,
fly.
okay. So you can't do anything with your party
No,
members.
it's
That's
just
interesting.
you, and I think that's why people didn't really like it.
Yeah.
It's not
See,
as
that,
much-
that to me sounds like why I'd want to play it.
exactly what I thought.
And
Exactly
that's probably
what I
why you've
thought.
played it.
Which is why
Yeah.
it's why I picked this one and not the others, because it's all that micromanaging stuff I don't want to do in my Final Fantasy. Well, in my games,
Yeah,
you know. So that's what's put me off Final Fantasy before. And although I enjoyed 7 Remake, it was just a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And in this
Rebirth's
one,
even more.
so, yeah, in this one, there's there's little collectible stuff like you can upgrade your sword, you can upgrade a bit of your armor. It doesn't change your appearance. It's just like stat boosts.
Do you still have materia?
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah. None of that.
That's
You-
the big thing.
yeah, you have like
Is it a
necklaces.
story where
that
they
boost
take some
things.
of the magic out of the world or something? Is that not part
the
of the story?
crystals. Yeah,
The crystals, yeah.
yeah.
They became reliant on that sort of technology and then it all disappeared.
Yeah, well, no, not quite. There's these big mother crystals that like provide energy, ether, I think they call it,
Yeah.
to everyone, if you will. And then there's bearers who essentially can use that energy without the mother crystals, and they basically become like enslaved by the powers that be because they're like a really valuable resource. They can use power
Yeah.
without the crystal, and they basically just get used up and drained for their abilities. And then you've got dominants who are like ultimate, power. But yeah, really, really, really cool story. Really just a really cool game. Really enjoying it.
Nice.
Yeah, I think for me, it's the type of game I would want from a Final Fantasy, but I understand why diehard Final Fantasy people might not like it.
If it was under another name, do you think you still would have tried it?
Probably. I might have even been more inclined to, and I think that probably would have changed a lot of people's opinion on it. Because,
I wonder if the general like populace though would have played it.
I think it's hard because Final Fantasy it's got that name attached to it.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of people think 16, I don't want to play 15 games before I get to
Yeah,
it.
you're right. to be
Yeah.
fair.
You know,
Yeah.
I think the people, then there's the other people like maybe us who know that they're not all connected,
Yeah, none of them are
but
connected.
Final
yeah.
Fantasy you think of it and you think this is how it plays, or this is
Mm.
the type of presentation, and you think that's not really for me. I don't really
Yeah.
like JRPGs, for example, so I'm not going to touch it. So the people who mainly play Final Fantasies are Final Fantasy fans, and this isn't really for them.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's probably done it a bit of a
It's a
disservice.
whole talking point in itself, Final Fantasy in general. Just
yeah,
It's
Like-
its own genre, really. It's not like any other JRPG is like that because they're all
kinda is.
subtly different.
But but it's evolved so much over time, and each one's like almost different. Yeah, the original maybe up to 14, they've probably all played very, very similar.
and now all of a
But
sudden-
all the stories are different.
yeah.
But then 14 became the MMO.
I think they did an MMO before as well,
Oh, okay, I don't
but
know.
I can't remember which one. Like 10
What's the
or
one that was over 2 games and you played as a character
13.
called Lightning? 14?
13.
13. Oh, okay.
13. There was 13 and there was 13-2, I think.
I thought there was
Yeah.
10-2 as well. I
It
don't know.
probably was. I don't understand it, but the thing with
This is
with
one of the
it-
reasons why I'm not playing them,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I have
Too
no
many.
idea
If you
about
ever fancy
anything
playing
and where,
just pick a number
and then
see
just
if you
go at
like
it.
and just go at it, because it's the easiest way to do it. Like
Well-
16, it's entirely its own thing.
It's weird because they could all be different. They all could be called different things. Like Final Fantasy VII is completely different.
Yeah.
Weird that they didn't call it something else at the time.
Yeah.
And
I
then
don't
like
know.
Final Fantasy VIII plays the same, but it's completely
Because
different
it does
again.
sell because it's a Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a complicated one. But yeah, really, really enjoying that. I'll definitely be talking about that more in the coming weeks. I do have one more game. I'm not going to talk about it much, but I'm just going to put it out there that I also got Prince of Persia Lost Crown on my Switch. Played that quite a lot. Really enjoying that. But I'll talk about that in the future because I've hogged a lot of time.
Very nice.
All right, Ben, let's see what you've got.
Oh, so it's a busy time of year, as we all know.
Yeah, none of this
For
free
me-
time that people talk about.
I know who has free time. For me, what happens at Christmas is other people start organising my time. Oh, well, you're off, aren't you? Could you just come and do this? No. So one of those things was my dad got a motorbike, so I went and rode that back. That was a yes. I've played quite a bit.
I thought you just said you were busy.
Well, yeah, you gotta. Yeah, thanks,
play
Martin, for choosing such a great, gigantic game for our backlog.
I'll quickly mention that to apologise to Martin. This would have been the backlog game this episode, but it's so big, Yakuza Like a Dragon, that we've decided to put it off till next episode.
So we can get a bit more time in.
Yeah. We had loads of time over Christmas, but obviously we had our own stuff to do and play. And
so we will get to that.
Yeah, that will be the next episode. So this is another buffer episode.
Yeah, buffer. I wouldn't say it's buffer.
Well, no,
New Year.
It's good content.
When I say buffer,
Brad, you're ruining it.
I mean buffer in between backlog episodes.
Yeah. Okay, so firing up the old phone a little bit. It's now my handheld because I'm too cheap to buy a decent handheld.
This is your new notepad.
Notepad is out, and you can't see that I lifted that up, but it is out. So I've been playing a lot of older sort of PS2 games on it.
You got a good PS2 emulator on there.
Yeah,
nice.
Devil May Cry 2 was one of them, which I really forgot how much I enjoyed, even though it looks terrible. I just loved it. I played a little Gran Turismo 2 as well. Got my licenses again. Yes, I can still do it.
Any Ridge Racer?
No, because I just it wasn't Gran Turismo to me.
Which Gran Turismo?
It was so much cooler to drift in that.
Gran
Very
Turismo
true.
4. But that was PS2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
that was back when they came out every year.
I thought 1, 2, and 3 were PS1, and Gran Turismo 4 was PS2.
I really couldn't tell you.
Well, either way.
Ben, you've played Gran Turismo 2. Which one was it on? PS1, PS2?
1.
One.
Yeah,
there you go.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I remember my dad's handwriting on the
pirated disc.
It was years ago now. It's too late. Can't do you for it.
I know.
So after that, Factorio's in the background.
Yeah.
Always.
Played Factorio.
Of course.
I did the endgame stuff.
Oh, cool.
Oh, you reached the
Nice
end game.
I did the endgame stuff. So you build a rocket, and that leads into the DLC.
Very nice.
You build a rocket and a platform for mining new ores in space, I think, or something along that lines. I've done it, and they've gone, "Yay, you've done it."
Time to pay us money now.
There's more. There's more stuff to do. There's like you can carry on and keep researching your own factory and make the factory grow, and that was it. I was hooked.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it doesn't just end.
No, it was cool.
Do they canonize the phrase "the factory must grow" like in the game?
No, I don't think so. I haven't seen it anyway.
They really should have.
But they do say grow your factory.
Oh.
I'm 183 hours in now.
Oh, jeez.
Right, so there's a thing.
But you were like 60 hours last episode. I thought I'd played loads of Final Fantasy at 14.
No, I think you've said he's at 60 hours like every episode.
I think it was 80 though.
I think he was in his hundreds.
I don't think
because we said 100 and some hours in 24 hours. How did you do that?
Oh, maybe. But it was low hundreds.
Yeah.
So my actual factory, when it completed, was 129 hours it took me.
Okay.
Wow.
I could have done it quicker than that. Don't get me wrong. It's just my brain going, this is great.
And the amount of self-destruction with tanks you were doing.
Yeah. But a guy me and Jake work with, Ryan, shout out Ryan, I'm sure he listens. He has also started playing it, so I am now building another factory.
Can you join
with
each
Ryan?
You can join each other.
Yeah,
How about that? Yeah.
It's supposed to be a big co-op. I don't know how many people can be in it, but it's really quite good fun. Also quite interesting the fact that when you come to set something up, the other person just knows what it needs and starts helping, and it's just so much quicker and quite fun. It adds a new element.
It's only 60 hours in co-op.
Yeah, it's not much. So the factory has grown. Debating the DLC.
Nice.
So played a bit of City Skylines with a friend.
You were excited to get to that. Is that the new one on Xbox?
No,
it's not on Xbox, is it?
City Skylines 2 on
Yeah.
PC, because
It's a new one,
2
but
they
they've
can't
not-
optimize
yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
it.
can't bring it around.
Yeah.
So he's played the first one. He's put like 1,000 hours in the first one. He's that kind of person too. And we were playing the second one just to see for differences. To me, it was all just a fog. I know nothing because I didn't play the first one. So I'm like, this looks good. Bashing the keyboard. Which I quite enjoyed, to be fair, and I will be playing that properly at some point.
Yeah. Is your friend enjoying it then with the comparison?
Yeah, sorry, shout out Dan. I should really, yeah, he absolutely loves it, but it's the differences between 1 and 2. I'm not sure he's overly keen on everything because it seems like unnecessarily complicated in places, that kind of thing.
I think when you got so many hours in a game, it's quite hard to
let go.
Yeah, and to come to terms
so.
with things being different, because they're not always different for better reasons,
Yeah, agreed. The other things were Damon, guy in our Discord, guy we work with, lent me his original Quest just to have a mess about with as a comparison to my dodgy Lenovo rebuilt VR system. I'm not sold for the money, I know it's the first one, don't get me wrong.
That's what made me like skeptical of VR. I think if I'd waited for the second gen, I'd have been much more into it.
I think there was a massive jump between the first and second, and then a pretty big jump between the second and third, to be honest.
Yeah, but it still becomes that thing that I play a little bit and then just chuck in a drawer again. That's what I'm bothered. That's the only reason I'm not going for it. I actually like playing the games when I play them, but it's not my first go-to.
I'm exactly the same with like Half-Life I mentioned last episode. I really want to play it, but it's just a bit of effort to set up. And then the other games that are on the headset, like some of them are too long. Like Asgard's Wrath, great game, but it's too long. You don't want to be in that for that long.
Yeah.
You see, I was the other way. I thought my headset didn't last long enough. It only lasted for like 2 hours before I have to recharge it.
Yeah, no, it's not too far off the same, but I'm saying the actual game's too long.
Oh,
so you don't feel like you're making enough progress maybe each
Yeah.
time. Whereas like the Batman game, I think is like a good length at like 12 hours. So it's a good length game, but
once I got on Beat Saber putting custom tracks on it, I was in the world for hours at a time just with the headset plugged in behind me.
Yeah.
I even found a way to clip it into the headset.
You played Beat Saber.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, what a
game. No, it's good fun actually. Yeah, I was surprised to enjoy it, if I'm honest.
I didn't like it as much as I wanted to, but I think it's because I just preferred pistol whip.
How many times did you accidentally hit the controllers against the wall during Beat Saber?
Oh no, it's children I aim for. I mean, accidentally hit. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But Dad, you don't have the headset on. No,
I just see boxes with arrows on everywhere I go now.
So we played a little bit of that. We did that as a family. That was quite good fun. We all just took it in turns, and we had it streaming to the TV as well. So we were watching.
I do like that feature. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
When I let Dad have a go on pistol whip, he fell over.
He did.
Nearly took out the vase.
No, I did start playing Fallout 4 VR. I think I mentioned it a while ago. It was going to be my Christmas game. I never really got back to it. Thanks, Martin. It was it's good, and I'm going to enjoy doing it. But why am I starting so many big games?
I know.
Why am I doing it to myself?
Think that.
Can you still
Need
do
a palette
base
cleanser.
building and stuff in the VR version? Or
Yeah,
not?
it's the same. It's
like you hover above it while you're placing stuff. Or you
I'm
actually go
not
and put it
sure
down
whether you
yourself?
get into that mode or not. This is I didn't get that far yet. I've just helped Mama Murphy, whatever she was called, the old lady, back to Sanctuary. That's the bit I've just done. And my brain's struggling a little bit with it because of the up and down undulating nature of the world.
Yes.
You do get a bit vommy on that one.
I can imagine.
It's just radiation sickness. It's immersive.
Oh, okay, that'll be it. Yeah. Wait, it's radiating my face.
Yes.
Probably.
So I've put it on hold for the time being. I tried a little bit more, but I've put it on hold. I have been playing Pixel Dungeon. I don't know if you've ever looked at it.
It rings a bell.
Yeah, same. But I can't quite put my finger on what it's like. Go on. Tell us.
So it is a pixel dungeon.
Dungeon crawler.
I don't know what
type
else. Yeah.
It's a bit like Enter the Gungeon.
But it's had. I
Like
do
the style.
not know.
I think it might be.
It's very Minecrafty looking. It's very pixelated.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But they've done lots of updates to it, and it's actually really good fun to play. I've only got the free version. My intention is to actually upgrade and buy the rest of it because I like it that much. The mechanics are good in it for VR. You have an axe on your one side, or you have a sword and a shield.
Oh,
or,
it's a VR game.
Yeah, it's a VR game. Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different game. And I even searched it and it came up with the game I was thinking of. There's another game called Pixel Dungeon.
Right.
And it's like a top-down dungeon crawly type game.
Oh, no, this is VR.
Ah, completely different game. Okay, continue.
And it's recently had some sort of big updates and they're progressing it. And it's actually, I really quite like it, if I'm honest. I just like the mechanics. You take the crossbow off your back. You have to load the crossbow. They've added a bow and arrow now, which you're using obviously like a bow and arrow.
It's how you interact with the weapons which makes a good VR game.
Absolutely agree with you. I didn't think about it that much until I got on this game. And like I said, you have your sword on one side and shield on the other. I mean, I'm awful and I end up just sort of waving my sword like I'm tickling things. But,
Yeah.
It's the amount of hits that count, not how hard you hit.
yeah.
It depends on the game, because Asgard's Wrath, it matters.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
But
In Skyrim VR, it did not.
I know.
I'm also the guy that enters a room and just starts throwing everything at them, like just letting go of the sword and trying to find it again, and feeling like Captain America because I've thrown my shield across the room and in a
Except
few
it doesn't
seconds-
come back.
No, it respawns on your hip. Even
Oh,
better.
that's good.
Yeah.
So I've really enjoyed playing that. I'm going to continue that a little bit more. I have had a big Astro Bot day.
yes.
Okay, so this was the one you wanted to talk about.
This is the one
Together.
that Jake's been playing too.
So I have. It depended. How much do you want to talk about it now, Ben?
I'm about 75% through.
I
Wow.
am on the last boss.
Oh,
Wow.
So
100% to point or
every bot. I've got every bot.
every bot.
Really?
Right,
You played it that much.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. 14 hours apparently. I feel like I'll delve more into it next time. But you chat about your experience with it.
So we have a game day. I have two friends, Max and Matt, that we get together and do game days. And I had big incidents with my consoles over Christmas. So my Xbox decided to poop itself.
No.
It didn't actually die. Couldn't work out what the hell was going on. It would only download at 1 kilobyte at a time. And it was pretty bad. Nothing would work on it. I couldn't install. I just couldn't do anything. So I started blaming the router. So I started looking into the router settings, changing things, whatever was going on. Nothing. Couldn't find anything. Just crawling around YouTube to try and figure out what was wrong with it. Had it died? So I got to the point where I thought, I'll factory reset it. So I did, and not too bad because obviously everything's cloud saved, so it's not that bad to do. But as soon as I set back up again, sign back in, still wouldn't work. Nothing would download. Nothing just wouldn't work. I thought hardline it, so I tried to hardline it. It still wouldn't work. Nothing. I thought I don't know what I've done. I thought the unit might have gone in it, like the Wi-Fi unit or something.
Ethernet time.
Yeah, so
Well,
I tried it.
Yeah,
Hardlined it, yeah. So I tried it, and it just nothing. And then I realised how hard the disk drive was working. I've been playing Red Dead, and took the disk out, straight back to normal.
So weird. Jay was telling me about this the other day.
So is
I've never even heard that happen.
No, and
Well, then you
I put the
tried-
disk back in,
Yeah.
and it stopped again.
And
The
then you
next time I
tried
tried, it
someone
didn't work.
else's Red Dead disc, didn't you?
Yeah, and installed, and everything was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
No issues.
So something weird about that individual
That
disc.
individual disk, yeah.
It was Red Dead 2, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As well. I just don't get it.
So what does this have to do with Astro Bot?
So, as I said, I've had a very rough time with consoles over this period.
Yeah.
So I got a corrupt download on my PlayStation, or partial download.
Yeah.
Fun times.
For what?
Similar moment. PlayStation wouldn't work. Why won't it load a game up? Not connected to the internet. At this point, I was thinking, right, it's router. I'm throwing it. I'm getting rid of. I've had it. It's got to be that. No, I downloaded the 30 anniversary stuff. They've done all the different aesthetics to the 30th anniversary.
Yeah,
so you can make it like
Oh, to make it like a PS1.
Yeah, so you got to bear in mind it's few and far between I'm playing my PlayStation at the minute. So maybe it's been turned off part way through downloading it, and then when it's resumed, it's not resumed properly, or Lord knows what happened. Wouldn't play any games, wouldn't go online, wouldn't do anything. This is exactly the same problem as what's happened with the Xbox. Factory reset straight away.
Did you have the same Red Dead disc in?
That's the issue. I wish people had explained these things. No, it had no disc in. I had no idea what was happening with it. Same story. That's another day of my life gone. I kept just turning it off, turning it back on. I tried everything, hard resetting it, did it all, same as I did with the Xbox, and couldn't do anything about it. Eventually, factory reset it, and as soon as I factory reset it and set back up again, it actually worked. There was no problems. Yeah. So that's why I assumed it must have been a corrupt download or incomplete or something. And because of that incomplete download, it wasn't letting me even play Astro Bot off the disc.
So weird.
So eventually I got there. The Last of Us, which was going to be the game day game, continue on.
Oh no.
That save's gone. So we're like, well, I kind of don't want to creep, sneak, kill again. So I didn't bother doing that. So we went, Astro Bot! Let's play Astro Bot! There you go. See, I got here eventually. You got all wondering.
Yeah.
So that was what we did for the day. We played Astro Bot and we did about 70%-ish. And I'm about 75% now.
Nice.
Those side missions are getting difficult though.
I believe there's some hard stuff.
The
at the
X
end.
triangle circle things.
Yes, those ones.
Yeah. They are Mario ones.
In each.
Where it'd go into like I just remember on Sunshine, you go into like the black world, and then you had those just like
really
geometric shapes that would just turn.
Oh, where they're like whistling and humming the Mario tune.
Sort of, yeah. It kind of takes elements from the other levels, but like ramps up how hard they are.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
cool.
It's like a little side thing in the world. You float around on the controller, being Astro Bot. You use it like a jetpack almost, or not a jetpack because it's not on your back, but you're laying on it. It's like a ship.
Yeah.
And you fly into asteroids to unlock it, and then it turns out it's one of the PlayStation symbols. So you go into that, and that's usually quite simple. You run 23 seconds up a little bit of road, and you've unlocked it. And then that opens 4 triangle missions or 4 circle missions, or you get the idea.
Yeah.
Well, triangle was all right. Could do that. I think it's then square. Is it square was all right?
No, I think it was circle next.
Circle.
Yeah.
Circle was next, and it was all right. You could get through it. Jesus Christ, is it square I'm on now?
Yeah, it must
square
be,
I'm on now, and it is horrendous.
Assuming X or cross is even
X is the last one. Yeah, the worst ones for me have been the ones where you're on the
armadillo.
Is it like an armadillo?
It's an armadillo.
And you're rolling on the spikes. They are horrendous. But I have done them all now.
Because I have a habit of double jumping. That's my problem. Because
and you kick it off you, don't you?
Yeah, you kick it off you, and then you obviously die because you land on the bit you're not supposed to walk on. So you're rolling on it because it's like a ball.
Yeah.
And when you jump with it, and then if you double jump, you kick it away from you and then die. A horrible death. They are just... You also kick it like a ball, don't you, at things?
Yeah,
in other parts of it. Yeah. But I mean, the amount of times I've been through one level to die at the very end. The last armadillo one I did, you go down a slope right at the very end, rolling on this armadillo, and it's like a little flick up to get to the character who you're unlocking, because they're just for a character, these side missions. And I rolled down the hill, didn't know you had to jump at the end.
Do you know what? I know exactly which one you mean, because I did it twice.
Yep. Because I'm like, my God, I've made it. My God, how many times have I done this level? I've made it. And then you have to jump at the end and fell off, is what I did. I am not joking. Yeah, there was a little bit of frustration and bad
I'm-
language.
I'm really glad there are those sorts of levels in the game, though, because
I've
most
heard.
of the game is
Relatively simple,
relatively
isn't
simple.
Yeah.
It's very good. That's all I will say for now.
it? It is. The worlds are pretty. Oh, I've really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I've grinned most of the time through it.
I was saying to Dulce the other day, I was like, I just can't stop smiling when I'm playing it. It's that good.
It's,
yeah.
it's definitely one that I really look forward to playing.
Yeah. I just haven't
Sophia
been able to play it down.
Sophia got to the one with the big oak tree, where you sort of grow it from a seed, don't you? You spray water at it, and that's at the beginning of the level, and then the rest of the
Yeah.
level is climbing the oak tree.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as you spray this oak tree, it starts sort of doing a song,
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
and she was absolutely made up when this song started. I want to pull my own eyeballs out.
Is it the new Baby Shark?
Oh my god! I mean,
can-
it's good at first.
You can spray his mouth when he starts singing with the
Yeah, I did that. Shut up!
just to get a trophy.
Yep.
And he's gurgling while he's singing. It's great. Like
I believe it's very interactive like that.
the whole
Yeah.
game.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
as a showcase of capabilities again of what the controller can do and the way it looks, the way it works, it's just great. I've really, really enjoyed it for that.
I really enjoyed the playroom, so I do want to get.
I don't think it like definitely uses the controller a lot still, but I don't think it kind of moves away from that a little bit.
feels less like a.
And it
tech
feels
demo.
more like a proper platformer.
Oh yeah, no,
It's
it
one
is
of the
definitely.
best I've ever played.
Good.
Like, if not the best, it's amazing. It's
Um,
definitely the best modern one.
Yeah,
Better than
yeah,
Mario
I've not
Odyssey?
played.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
high
yeah.
praise.
But you've got resistance and triggers for different abilities and things like that. That's the side I'm looking at because I'm used
Yeah.
to playing an Xbox
Mm.
game with none of this. If you see what I mean, it's
Yeah.
it really does show off the capabilities of it. I mean, bearing in mind it was on charge the whole time because of how much strain it was to a 2-hour life battery. But we won't go there.
I don't get this. I've never run out of charge on my controller.
I haven't, but I have a little dock. So as soon as I finish, I put it down.
But I do. Every time I finish playing, I just put it on charge. Like it would need like a whole 5-6 hour session,
I think so.
and I don't think I've ever played games that long in a row without some.
But I
break.
suppose if in this case, Ben, you're doing a session with some friends and you're playing games all day.
I think
passing
we were
the
about
controller
14 hours we were playing.
Whoa,
So
jeez,
it's
that's
going to run
why.
out.
Yeah,
If
It's going
only.
to run out. Yeah.
yeah. But I don't play. I'm always charging. I do the same with the Xbox. I charge it once I'm not using it. Charging it.
So I think we're at about 200 bots collected.
Yeah. Out of the
Um,
300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely bought this for Sophia for Christmas. I don't know what you're talking about. But we've had a great time, and it's been a rarity that we haven't sort of drifted off towards the end of the day. It sounds stupid, but when you're playing for a long period of time like that,
Yeah.
it starts getting too much. We didn't
Yeah.
with this. We played it right till the very end.
Mhm.
We were just enjoying it, and yeah, it's great. And I'll keep you updated. I'm sure you're going to beat the boss before I do, then, as you're that far on.
Well, I feel like next episode we'll
Both have finished it.
maybe both have finished it, but I'll probably delve into it a lot more.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll try and do it for then. Yeah, that's it. That's been my Christmas. How about you, Joe?
Go on, Joe. Take us out.
Right. So this holiday season, I've been playing a lot more family games because we've had family around.
Oh, it makes sense.
And one of the games which we actually bought for Courtney's sister was a game called Lego Brawls, which I expected to be like Lego Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
not. It's actually way different from that.
No,
You
I
do-
seem to remember this coming out.
There's like capture the point modes, there's like hold the objective modes. It's all like a 2D platformer,
Yeah.
but you can
Okay.
customize your Lego characters.
Yes.
And like as
Yeah.
you play through the game, it's all. I think the way to unlock stuff is all done online, but you can do a lot of stuff in 4-player local.
Co-op sort of thing.
And because we had 4 controllers, we even got Courtney's dad involved, and he had no idea what he was doing, but he's having the best time. He was like, "I don't know what I'm doing, but this castle's getting destroyed because you can." There's one where you destroy each other's bases, and you try and build them up to like 250 points worth of base.
Yeah.
Because you get materials by killing other people. Sometimes it rains down from the sky, or you can mine it from rocks that are out and about on the map.
Okay.
And there's like cool vehicles which like drop down where you can like ride a dragon. a little trebuchet type tank, or like a bulldozery type thing that's a one-hit kill if you get someone with it. And then you can take that to the enemy base, knock the enemy base down by about 50 points, and then they've got to start building it up again on like a cooldown timer. It's a really unique mechanic I've not seen in any other like party game.
Obviously, like Smash Bros can't have that, but I wish Smash Bros would have some different elements like what you've described there, like a capture the hill sort of mode. You know what I mean? It just makes it different. You know,
or like a hot potato type mode where you've got to offload a bomb onto somebody else.
Yeah, just like damage over time or something.
Yeah. Like that, was it not Sausage Party? What's the game we played that had that mode?
Rubber Bandits.
Rubber Bandits, that's
I dug deep then. I really did.
Yeah. But that got me and Courtney onto playing some of our older Lego games that we never got around to finishing in like free play mode.
Cool.
So we've been playing Lego Marvel Avengers, Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, because we never had the first game.
Oh, 2 was
and then
excellent, yeah.
Lego DC Villains, which is my favourite one.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
We were going to do Harry Potter, but Witcher got in the way.
Yeah. They're so fun, those games. And like, there's some janky points, and some of the bosses are a pain in the arse. Like you get, I think it was in Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, there's one where you're against Kang, and he just keeps spawning ads at you over and over and over again before you can kill the last bit of him as Captain America, because that's like a quick time event.
Yes, yeah, you become big, don't you, or something?
Yeah, you become big.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've played it, but I think I remember,
but that room where they just keep spawning and spawning and spawning is such a nightmare, especially since before that, you have to do that again with a different boss, where he keeps just firing a laser at you over and over again, and you can't dodge him. But luckily, DC Villains, which is my favourite one, I think that might be the reason why it's my favourite one, doesn't do that an awful lot. I think there's like one boss that does it.
Okay.
You can see like how the Lego games have grown because they all come out like a few years apart.
Yeah.
And like so they get polished over time, and some of like the abilities have cooldowns in the first one, and in the later ones you can just do them whenever you want. Which I think it might have been a limitation of like graphics processing on like the 360 and stuff.
Like a hardware limitation disguised as a gameplay choice.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah. Especially when there's two of you doing it at the same time and like making loads of pieces fly out of stuff and like studs going all over the screen.
Yeah.
What I really like about the Marvel ones, and I don't know if I haven't played DC Villains, is just being able to fly around the city with the flying characters.
You can do that in DC Villains.
It's crazy. Like I didn't think you'd ever be able to do that in a Lego game where it's just like fly around a big city, like Mach 10 or something.
Oh yeah, there's some characters that have got like a charge up super jump.
Yeah,
I think one of them's, I think it's Lex Luthor, but when he gets his super armor, he initiates his flight by doing a really big jump, but that jump alone can take you halfway across the map, so you can't control where you're going to land, and the screen goes like motion blur, and it's like, oh my god, where am I going to land? And you end up falling off the map.
I don't think I've played a Lego game properly since like the Star Wars ones, the original ones.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you play a lot of the Marvel ones, Jake. And
I think I've played Lego Marvel Superheroes was probably my favorite one. And then the Avengers one's okay, but it's a bit restricted.
Yeah.
I do like that it has all the actual voice actors in it though.
Yeah, it does. I think it does anyway. It might just take lines from the films.
Yeah. But even then it's like they never used to be voice acted.
No.
And then they started to be voice acted. And I know like
made noises.
I've not played the Skywalker saga, but I believe that's even more like changed, isn't it? Like
so I've played that, that's like all voiced.
Or even episodes 1 to 3.
Yeah, everything.
Oh wow.
They just remade the whole thing.
I think it's not voiced by like the actual actors.
No.
Obviously, but everything's voiced.
Because he's no longer a child.
Yeah.
But it's not just lines from the film either. It's like
they've
made a story.
They kind of like make it they speed run it basically, and then make it funny as well.
Yeah.
And that's how they do it.
I'd like
to take out all the fluff, because all the fluff is you building stuff in the Lego game.
Yeah, definitely. I like Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. Is that what it's actually called?
Yeah.
I played that a couple of years ago. It is really good, but I almost kind of I think they went a bit far with it. It's so open and so much to do in the open world.
Yeah,
it's kind of just like collect.
Whenever we pause the game, we despair a little bit, and it's like, we've only got 67 gold bricks out of 250.
Yeah.
Oh god, where are we going to find them all
in this one area?
Yeah,
on this one planet.
It can be too much.
I think in Manhattan alone, on the Marvel Superheroes 2, it's like 120. just in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And there's like another big bit in Washington, D.C.,
Yeah.
which has like another 100.
Jeez.
Wow. I mean, again, I was saying, I really like the games,
Yeah.
especially when they slowly became more and more open. But I kind of, with the Skywalker saga, I wanted the main story to be a bit longer, and it kind of felt like they rushed it too much, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Trying not to,
Because you know where all the story beats are.
Yeah, I think they were just trying too much not to copy what they've already done before.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Still good, still really good, but I did think it lacked that a little bit. But anyway, Joe, sorry, you were saying.
Other than that, I don't play it with her all the time. Sometimes I'm the man in the chair for doing the free play runs and getting all the collectibles in it. So I'll be like, you need to go to this bit on the map, go find this bit, use this hero for this bit. But while I'm doing that, I'm playing Fire Emblem Engage on my Switch.
Nice.
So very, very multitasky at the
I was going to
minute.
say, yeah, you are the man in the
do
chair.
With any other game, I couldn't, but with Fire Emblem, you're not timed on your turns, so I can just like look something up and then.
Okay.
And I know we were saying before about, I don't like turn-based like games like Final Fantasy and stuff, but this turn-based combat I can get behind because you're not feeling pressured to continue with the story or anything like that. You can literally put down in the middle of a battle and pick it up and be like, oh yeah, this guy was the next guy I was going to kill because it's like in the same place you're in.
It's kind of the same for XCOM, I remember.
But yeah, the story of it is great so far.
Yeah.
I'm finding all these rings that have got different heroes in. I've just picked up Roy, my favorite Smash character.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got a really cool power where if he uses engage ability, it sets the 9 squares in front of him on fire, and anyone who goes into it takes 10 damage, which is pretty good for area control.
I can imagine, yeah.
And I'm at the bit where you can swap the rings onto different characters and they can inherit skills from the spirits in the rings. So even when that character's not holding the ring, they can do something that the emblem could do.
They've like learned from the character.
Yeah, you can train them up in like a little arena in like the home base, and they fight the spirit. Most of the time, they're losing because they're still low level.
Yeah.
But the not relationship aspect of them and the character, but I don't know what you could call it. It's like engage points. You spend those to level up the abilities that you can inherit.
Okay, sounds cool.
So like I say, my character's been sparring with Marth, and now they can pretty much avoid any attack if they get attacked first. But if someone like retaliates after they've attacked, they're more likely to get hit. So it's like a bit of a trade-off.
Oh, sounds good. always like that aspect of games like that, where you can like learn something off the equipment and then pass it on.
Yeah. Because then one character's not hogging it for the whole game, and all your other characters are weak.
And that's kind of like with the icon thing you're saying with Final Fantasy, where you can equip different icons' abilities to other icons. It's really nice. I'm hoping, I've not done it yet, I'm hoping that if I master an ability and change the icon, they've all got different like ability elements. So like elemental effects. So like Ifrit is fire, Garuda is the second one you get is like wind, and that one has the tornado. So I'm hoping if I get tornado and put it on Ifrit, do I get like a fire tornado?
Fire-nado.
I don't know. I was probably not. But
it would look cool.
That would be cool.
I've been doing something similar to, it's like a heavy infantry spearman who wears like full tank armor and holds a massive shield. I've put a cavalry spirit on with him, so he's inherited the ability to move after his go's gone. So he's one of my most mobile units, is the most heavily armored unit that I've got.
Nice.
And he's the only thing he's weak to now is magic, so I've powered him up like loads.
Hope he doesn't die.
I think he's called Lewis. He's got the same look as Brock from Pokemon, where his eyes never open. Okay. But when he gets beaten in battle, he goes, "I don't think I'll ever open my eyes again." Like, they've not been open this whole time.
They're clearly riffing off their own thing.
Yes,
definitely.
100%.
Cool.
But yeah, that's me, the man in the chair, commanding armies and Lego guys.
Nice.
Nice one.
Nice. Who said that what we're playing isn't going to be that long?
Yeah, Jake.
God damn.
I don't know who it was.
Whole
they were
episode.
wrong. They were wrong.
That is definitely the longest one.
To be fair, it's a big catch-up. We haven't really seen each other the whole time.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
it's been 2 episodes worth of time.
It's been an extra week, and we didn't do it last time either.
So that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Exactly.
So now we've caught up with our what we've been playing. How about we move over to
But Badoo. It's the news.
Yes, it is. First time of the year.
First time.
It's
And
the
this is-
newest news.
There's not a lot of news. There's not been a lot of news over Christmas.
No, I feel like it's been so long since we've done the news. Either we're forgetting some really big things, or just not a lot's happened.
Well, please let us know.
Yeah.
Email us, Discord, Twitter. Well, do all the socials now.
Yeah, do the socials. Joe.
Twitter, Blue Sky. Get on any of them. Just message us and let us know if we've missed anything.
Yeah.
So, very quickly, so we did the Game Awards last time, big episode. Now, apparently, the director of Black Myth Wukong wrote a speech 2 years ago about winning Game of the Year.
Yeah, his
And I just thought,
speech.
yeah, his acceptance speech. I just thought that was very brazen.
Arrogant. The more now, I mean, some of this could be maybe translation error.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But the more I read about him and the team, the less I want to play Black Myth Wukong. I think the game looks ace. I just wish I knew less about the people
Them.
behind it.
I wish I was ignorant.
Yeah, because I do want to play the game, but the more I hear, the less I want to pay for the game.
I think a lot of it has been like odd translations.
yeah, but even things like
And people have ran with
the
it.
fans. So the fans en masse decided to
I hate this,
to
yeah.
downvote Baldur's Gate 3 because he didn't like
Yes,
Sven
review
Vinke's
bombing.
speech. Yeah, and it's because they thought what was in Sven Vinke's
I think
speech.
they latched onto something in his
Yeah.
speech where it just basically said it doesn't matter about sales. And it wasn't like he was saying,
It was not targeted.
it wasn't targeting Black Myth and going like, it's not because you sold loads. He actually bigged them up because he was
Yeah.
basically saying anybody who's nominated for Game of the Year, it's been about making an amazing game.
Yeah, you're not making a game to make it sell loads. You're making a game because you want to make it
Yeah.
good. And then these people just took that as he was throwing shade at Black Myth and down mass review bombed Baldur's Gate. Now they didn't mass review bomb because actually more people came out and did the
Mass
opposite.
review
So I
up.
think it's actually higher reviewed now. But it's the fact that they tried, and there's some weird air around that game. Where, as I say, I want to play it, but the fans, the team, the CEO, all the people sort of kind of involved.
Again, I
make
don't
me
think,
want to play it less.
I don't think it's necessarily old fans as well.
No, it's definitely not. But
because even some of the
yeah.
reviews for Baldur's Gate where they're like positively
Hmm.
review. Yeah, what would you call it? Positive review bomb? I don't know.
I don't know.
Hype bomb.
Hype,
Hype
bomb.
bomb.
They're saying like fan of Black Myth Wukong. Just want to say that whoever's review bombing this is an idiot.
Yeah,
Essentially.
and they're all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just there's something dulling it for me now, and I just can't get past that. Maybe I
Yeah.
will. I would still like.
I
to
still
play
want to
it.
play it, but
Yeah,
Good job. I look at a game and go, looks like a good game. I'm going to play
yeah,
that.
and
Don't
that's
care what people have said.
yeah, and that's how I should be, and that's kind of how I was. But just the more I read, the more I'm annoyed. Sours it. That's all. But
it's almost
Because you're terminally online.
it's like we shouldn't have a gaming podcast and
I know.
know all the ins and outs. Two very quick newses as well. Marvel Rivals is going to add Fantastic Four. They've just come out and said that.
Yeah, that was literally
Cool.
breaking of the other day. There's a live stream showing the characters soon,
Yes.
but not as of when we're recording this. So we don't know whether it's all four. We know it's all four in the long term,
yeah.
but we don't know whether it's all four at once, a few at once.
Will
one
they
at once.
introduce Doctor Doom and Silver Surfer?
I think eventually.
Yeah.
Doctor Doom's part of the story of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
I
there's a
didn't know
big
there was a
long-
story.
There's a leaked roster of heroes in there,
yes.
which has loads of people on there.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah,
have
yeah.
Ghost Rider though, so that disappoints me.
No, I don't know why. It's a big character. But apparently Hitmonkey's
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Deadpool. Yeah.
Not Magic. Angela,
Angela?
yeah.
Who's that? I'm a Marvel fan. I don't even know who this is.
It's like Viking. He's got a sword.
Oh, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else? I say Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
It's quite a long list of
Yeah.
people
No,
rumored.
definitely.
MODOK, I think.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's just cool that it's getting more
Definitely,
stuff.
Definitely.
They're definitely riding the not the hype train, but yeah, kind of the hype train. It's just
Yeah.
come out and a lot of people are jumping to it.
They've got so
riding that
many
wave.
people they can bring in.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
and I think they will.
Definitely.
I wonder if it'll
Um,
end up like a League of Legends or Dota where there's like 100 characters.
Maybe. Well on the way.
Yeah.
So Bandai Namco, there was some rumors that Sony might have been buying them up.
Well, they're
They're
what's it pronounced? How's it pronounced?
I don't know.
Kasuaga, something like. So there's the
Whoever owns
Kasugara
Bandai
Group?
Namco.
global company. The what? Sorry, Joe.
Is it the Kasugara Group?
Something like
Like
that. Yeah, something like that. So they own Bandai Namco
Yeah.
and a bunch of anime things and other stuff.
Yeah. So there were some rumors about Sony buying them. That hasn't come to fruition. They've just bought some more stocks, essentially.
Yeah, so there was rumors of a hostile takeover, essentially. So Sony have bought a bunch of someone else hostile taking over. I can't remember who.
Yeah.
But Sony have essentially bought more stock so that they are majority shareholders now,
Yes.
and now they can't be hostile
over.
taken over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they do it as a protection, really.
it's probably the best outcome. Sony will get loads of money from it anyway in a
Yeah,
worse
yeah.
way, but then also they've not just been bought outright by Sony. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Definitely
means
best case.
not exclusivity.
exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So it's probably the best outcome for everyone, except the people who were trying to hostile take over.
I just had one more quick one, and we've all been watching Secret Level over the break.
Yeah.
Yes.
We might talk about it as well. But apparently Microsoft turned down a Halo Doom crossover.
I saw that. Yeah.
What did you think about that?
That would have been
Do you know,
nice.
I'm kind of glad that they turned that down.
I
Yeah.
think.
Doom should be its own thing, and Halo should be its own thing.
I see where you're coming
Yeah.
from with that, Joe. Yeah.
And I
think
get
They're
it.
not comparable entities.
I
Doom
think
guy is so powerful compared to the Master Chief is just wearing some good armor, and he's got a gun.
Yeah.
he's a super soldier, I suppose. But
Yeah, but he's not a demon.
yeah,
Well, the Arbiter calls him a demon,
Yeah.
but he's not one.
Yeah, I think as well. Let's not go into Secret Level this episode because it's already so long. But maybe
Yeah.
next episode. But quickly on the very last episode of Secret Level was the PlayStation crossover.
yes,
That was probably the worst episode of the whole
very
show.
disappointing.
So maybe Joe's right.
I
Keep them
think
separate.
I think there's this want for them to be brought together because they look very similar.
Yeah.
They are wearing green
Yes, basically.
and have a helmet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And shoot
I
stuff.
I think it'd be cool to see them, but I don't know what you would make the episode about.
Mm.
Now, I feel like it would have been better if they just did one separate for each.
Yeah.
Would you rather
But
they did
apparently they
Doom-
turned that down too.
Oh, right.
Would
Okay.
rather they did a Doom Animal Crossing.
Oh, yeah. Isabel murdering demons.
See, I've seen
and
a lot of
Doom guy
videos.
tending his garden.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of videos online of people already doing that, and it is hilarious. So, yeah, get on it, Secret Level.
Yeah.
I can't believe that only came about because, like,
The release
It's the
is
same
delayed.
release date.
yeah, during COVID they came out.
It's like Barbenheimer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Same
basically.
thing. Yeah.
Great stuff. So that was it for the news.
Short, quick
very
fire
short.
news.
Should we do?
Hey, everyone's been busy. There's been no reporting.
It's
Very true.
It's
Very
true.
true. Probably have loads next time. So, should we do games coming up, Ben?
Yes, games coming up.
Games coming Okay. Right. Let's do that.
Rustle that
Standard
paper.
stuff. Big old standard stuff. Right.
The A5 notepad.
Couple of quick
Retro tech.
mentions at the beginning. Spider-Man 2 coming to PC 30th of January.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Already came out.
I forgot all about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
I thought it already came out. To be honest.
Ray tracing and reflections upped. Powerful PCs.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth also coming to PC
But it is.
23rd. Please don't get Jake set off on it. It's,
He's going to build a PC just to play it again.
yeah, he is. Yeah, I want to see it better.
I've heard that the director has already come out and said or pleaded with the PC community not to make inappropriate mods.
Yes. I've heard this.
Right. Like
well,
that's
he's
ever
just
gonna-
shot himself in the foot there. 'cause
Yeah,
now
'cause-
they know.
Now he suggested it.
Now they know it's possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so Assetto Corsa Evo,
Yes.
16th of Jan, PC early access. Apparently, this is big for them because it's their big open world that they're
Not on
making. For it.
Xbox.
Yeah,
That's
so-
a weird choice.
I reckon
yeah,
it's early access PC first.
Oh, okay.
one of the guys at work, shout out to Tom, he's really excited about this. He's not a massive gamer, but he's a massive car guy. So he's like, I'm going to get a PS5 for this game. loves it because they're like realistic, like super realistic.
Yeah, it's
Toro
sim
driving
stuff,
games,
isn't it?
Yeah, I believe it's an open world around like the Nürburgring as well, and there's like all
That's
the like in and outside it. So there's like all the stalls and stuff you can go to like tune.
They're basically
car
Forza
and stuff.
Horizoning it.
Yeah, but it's a sim. It's a racing sim.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Um,
he's excited for that one.
It really does
Cool.
look the part from anything I've
Yeah.
seen. I'm not a racer, sorry.
Well, Assetto
but-
Corsa has been a sim
Yeah.
game for years, isn't it? So I
Yeah,
think this might be the
absolutely.
first one on consoles. But
No,
I
there's
could
been
be
an
wrong.
Assetto Corsa on consoles before.
Has there? All right.
Yeah.
Is there more of a PC game? I know that because people
I think it is, yeah.
build rigs for them, don't they? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd make
You know,
my spare room a
suspension
car.
and springs and all sorts.
yeah.
Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Yeah, Donkey
I'm
Kong
excited for
Country
this.
Returns HD.
We love
So it's the
Donkey Kong on this
remastered version of a Wii game. Apparently,
Kong in
one of the
1080p.
things was always it's very interactive, isn't it, on a Wii? Like they tried to make
Yes.
every game as
Yeah, they
ridiculous
really
as they
did.
could, nunchucky and mess you about. So people are excited for this based on the fact that it's coming to the Switch.
It'll be
And
gimmickless.
It can just be played as a game.
I think people give Sony a lot of slack for remakes and remasters, but I think Nintendo are worse.
Oh, they
yeah.
cap it, don't they?
Do you know, I think this might have been the long game. So let's make a game that's full of gimmicks and then people get sick of it. We'll make it again.
Maybe.
We already have
yeah.
it.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's
That's fair.
more
Gimmick
about-
free.
They'll all buy it.
They brought out the Switch, and they're like, every generation nearly. I mean, you can't play any older generation on the Switch, can you? So they've basically locked off all their old generations. So they
Apart from NES, SNES, and N64 now.
yeah, but they're not only
They
now.
sell it to
they sell it to you. Yeah.
But you can't play Wii and Wii U games on the Switch.
Mm.
So they're obviously thinking, at the time, the Wii U did really badly.
Mm,
They were probably like, "Oh my god,
let's recoup all this money.
we need to do something." So
Yeah.
they came out with the Switch, did amazing, and then they're like, "Well, all these games, nobody played them on the Wii U, and all these
Yeah.
other ones on the Wii, no one can play them anymore. So let's bring them all out on Switch and charge everybody full price."
Yeah.
Do you know, I would do that for
And no
Wind
one
Waker
complains.
again. A drop of a hat, I'd buy Wind Waker again.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because you can't
To
play
have
it
it
on
in full
Switch.
res.
Imagine
Yeah.
playing
No.
it on Switch. It'd be great to be able to take it out with you as well.
I definitely get why they do it.
Another reason why, when this Switch 2 comes out, it won't play Switch games,
Yeah.
because this is their like Xbox and PlayStation already have like their past gens kind of on the console
To an extent.
to an extent.
Yeah.
Whereas
Xbox
they're
better.
kind of starting again, I suppose. I don't think we should give them credit for it, as you were saying, because they are remastering everything they can get their hands on.
Yes.
But at least we can play these games now.
Yeah. True.
Cool.
What a tangent.
Yeah, I know.
Nice.
Sorry.
Sniper Elite Resistance.
Yes, I heard about this.
Yeah.
So it's a standalone game. It's going to be apparently it's a story that runs parallel to Sniper Elite 5. I wouldn't know. I don't really play sniper games.
remember
Stealth
playing-
isn't me.
Yeah. I think I played V2's demo a lot. Shot a lot of
I do
Nazis
have
in the
friends that
balls.
play it and rave about it. So
Yeah.
I have heard for what
Um,
it's doing, it's really good. Like you obviously shoot the balls off and
Yeah.
into the eyes, and you can see it all in slow mo.
Shoot the balls into their eyes.
Yeah.
What a curveball.
Yes.
Literally.
apparently the difference is with this one, it's going to be released everywhere. Oh no, wait. I didn't say when Donkey Kong was coming. 16th of Jan, Switch. Thanks,
Nice.
Jake.
Cool.
Sorry, this tangent.
With the Sniper Elite game, apparently there's going to be propaganda missions. So it's set around 5, but you're going to be set to try and stop supply lines and things like that with propaganda missions,
That could be quite cool.
which is an interesting tack, I thought. I mean,
Yeah.
still going to be released for the PS4, PS5, XS, PC. It's coming everywhere, but
They're not very
still... Everyone knows my
graphically
point.
intensive, are they?
No,
I suppose.
but everyone
No.
knows
Could
my
they,
point.
could they
When
put
are
it
we
on
ditching them?
Switch?
Maybe. Probably. Well, maybe.
Don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know how that would work. Be interesting. Anyway,
Yeah.
30th of Jan.
Cool.
Destiny Warriors. That's the...
Is that
Dynasty
this-
Warriors.
That's what I meant to say. God, it's all gone wrong now, hasn't it?
Mobile Destiny game.
Shall I try again?
Yeah, go for it.
No, I'm not going to. You know what? Keep it.
Dynasty Warriors.
It's even better. Dynasty Warriors.
The
Yeah.
new one, yeah.
The new one, yeah. All right.
People like Dynasty Warrior games.
I like Dynasty
Yeah.
Warriors.
This is Origins. I
Yeah.
didn't know we needed an Origins, but
My
Well,
only problem
actually-
with Dynasty Warrior games is I feel like they all play the same.
They do.
You don't like innovate.
You don't quite. This is back to the old days of it. I played it PS2 days,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
that's when I probably last played it.
and it was good then. I mean, it was you're just a guy fighting an army, aren't you? You know, you got your own powers. You're the big soldier boy kind of thing. I don't know how to put it. You're not a grunt. But anyway, this one looks like it's going back to its roots a bit more. It's very hack and slashy, as we all know. It's the first one on this gen as well. It's
Yes.
for this gen, so that's a big thing. They're boasting. You ready? 10,000 warriors on screen.
Damn.
Wow.
That's going to be hectic.
Yes, it is.
So that's a good thing. I would want to try it for that, basically, just to see if it can cope.
Yeah. See 10,000 of the same model.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that's not
But
the
they'll
point,
be animated in different clusters.
because I'll have slashed the crap out of all of them so quickly. It won't matter.
Yeah.
The race to being Lubu is
Yep.
often the game.
Need a big long stick.
Yes.
Right. PC, XS, PS5, 17th of Jan.
Oh, not far.
Star Wars Hunters. So it's free to play, squad based game. It came to Switch in June and
I was just
came to
gonna
Android
say-
in June. It did.
I thought this was already out. It's kind of like
Yeah.
almost. It's not quite a hero shooter.
Is that the mobile one?
Yes, it's on
been out
mobile too.
Yeah.
The reason for mentioning it's coming out on PC. The big graphic upgrade because of it coming out on PC.
You don't often see it
4v4
that way
arena fighting
around.
stuff, but it must be doing well if they've
Yeah,
tarted it for a PC.
Yeah.
It's a mobile game. If it's done well, it's done very well.
Yeah. Well, Switch as well.
Cool.
So
nice.
it's 27th of Jan, early access for PC. Orcs Must Die, Death Trap. I don't know why I like the name of it. It makes me laugh. That's the only reason I mentioned it.
So there was Orcs Must Die 1, 2, and 3. And then I think there was a spin-off. So this is another spin-off. Is this another castle defense-y type one?
Yes, it's tower
Yeah.
defense, except
Yeah.
the difference being you get a third-person action
Yeah.
style part of it.
Oh my
So
god, it's Brutal
that's why
Legend.
That's why it's a bit different, I guess.
All the others are like that. And I played, I think, the first one and the second one, and it was good fun for a little bit. I played it with some friends.
They always
it's been a
interest me. I
while.
never get round to playing them, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But I would like to, and I'll mention it as I want to.
Yes. A very good Game Pass game, I think. Get a
This
few
is how-
people on.
Backlogs are created.
Yes.
28th of Jan, PC, X and S. I think that's about it. Oh, Aloft. Co-op survival sandbox game. Floaty Island. That's what I wrote. So you're
I think I remember which one this one was.
it's a co-op style. Looks very Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I think I've seen this one. I feel like it might have been on a conference at one
Wasn't it on
point.
Summer Games Fest?
I don't think it's the one you're thinking of. That was on Summer Games Fest. That was the one that looked like Animal Crossing in the clouds.
Where it's like all
I
bubbly.
hadn't
but
seen too much
this
of
is
this one.
different.
It's you're basically making your floaty island into a ship, and
Oh.
you take it around places. It was interesting. I thought
Yeah.
that's
Different.
mad.
I just
Um,
have, if that's the end of your list, I just have 2 to add, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
I was just having a look at this before, and I didn't realize they were coming out in January. Hyperlight Breaker is coming
Is
into
that-
early
okay, yeah.
access on January 14th, only on PC.
Yeah, that's a follow-up
Um,
to Hyperlight Drifter, but it's like third person in it.
Oh, did I
Yeah.
mention it? I wrote it down. Yeah, I wrote it down here. I just didn't read it.
Oh,
Sorry, I
That's
completely
fine.
forgot about it.
but it is only in early access. It's only on PC.
Yeah.
It's a prequel to Hyperlight Drift.
Is it?
Right,
Yes.
Oh.
And it's 3D in comparison, so you're
Yeah.
third person running. It's co-op, and what else did I write?
So
You are fighting the Abyss King, which sounds terrible. I thought that must be amazing.
people love the first one. the
Yeah, no,
Hyperlight
definitely.
Yeah,
Drifter,
yeah.
so-
I never got round to it, and I would be quite excited to play
Yeah,
this because I
definitely.
more prefer that sort of game.
Yeah.
I wonder
but-
why I ignored it.
You just couldn't read your own handwriting, Ben.
It's very possible.
And then there was Citizen Sleeper 2, which I never played the original, but I've heard good things.
I've heard good things about that.
It's like
Is that the Cyberpunk game?
kind of, yeah, it's like a role-playing game. You're more like talking to people.
Yeah. But it's set in like a dystopian future.
So like a Disco Elysium type thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think you move around or anything like that. I'm not too sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like point and click talking sort of thing.
I think so.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, the first one's got really good reviews, so second one comes out on the 31st of Jan.
Yeah. All the biggest games start coming out from February.
Oh,
yeah,
next.
it's
So
usually
that's going to
pretty.
be a fun games coming up.
No, there's only one game that comes out in February.
I was pretty surprised how much was actually coming, as it's usually a lot drier than that. But like I say, it seems to be a lot of remasters and
Yeah.
Oh,
People don't have money this time after Christmas.
no one wants to spend money.
Yeah.
Next month, you're going to get blown out the water.
Yes.
It's going to be mental.
Oh, I don't know what's coming next month, Joe.
Oh, I couldn't possibly know about that.
Cool, well, that's about it for me.
So now we bring this episode to a close. It's been long enough. What are we thinking about that's going to come out this year? Give you one prediction each.
So
Go, Brad.
prediction of what's coming out, or just predictions of gaming in general?
Gaming in general. What do you think will happen this year?
Oh, I can't remember what I said last year. Half-Life 3. I don't want to go for the obvious that GTA 6 will be delayed.
That's on my list.
I predict that the Nintendo Switch 2 will be announced with loads of games, but most of them will be 2026 onwards.
Okay.
So like new Pokemon, Metroid, all that will be 2026. And the launch games will be like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild remastered.
And 3-4 Switch.
Yeah. I think you're probably right there. I don't think Metroid Prime 4 I think that might slip into next year.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
I think
agreeing.
Switch 2 will
Yeah.
be announced, but most of its announced games won't be out this year.
I actually think it's going to come out. I don't know if you want to include this as my prediction, but I think,
Go ahead. This would be you.
I think it's going to come out in April.
I would say April.
And I mean, I've got egg on my face anyway, because last year I went 99% sure Switch 2's coming out.
I remembered what I said. I said I reckon Todd Howard will step down from Bethesda.
That's never happening.
No.
For the next 5 years, Jake's going to be saying Switch 2.
So I think it's going to come out in April. I think it's going to have some new launch games that we haven't heard about, because they're very good at keeping the mouth shut.
Yeah, I just think the big ones, the Pokemons, the Metroids, even the Mario.
I think it'll come out with a new 3D Mario on release.
We'll see.
Mario Origins.
Yeah.
And Mario will have a beard.
Yes, not a mustache.
Yeah, a full beard.
And just for the lols, more live service flops. It's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And then hopefully Ubisoft switching things up, because surely
They're going down the pan.
Yeah.
Here's another prediction: new Luigi game where you hunt down CEOs.
Luigi's Mangione.
That's dark.
Excellent stuff.
I'm going with GTA 6 will not be knocked back.
Okay.
It will come out on date. Right, yeah, because I'm just going to mix it up.
The servers will die immediately.
It'll just work. Yeah, but it won't work.
Yeah.
When's it coming out, Ben?
Well, it's third.
Just the third.
Just the third.
I don't think they've given a date yet.
No, but
Third quarter, innit?
I want
It's
Ben's prediction.
Looking at third quarter this year.
Okay.
November release.
I want a date.
You want a date?
You're always keen to give us dates.
Okay. I wasn't ready with that.
There's only 12 to pick from.
I know. I'm going with August.
Ooh.
That's definitely not the third quarter of the year.
But I'm going with August.
Yes.
I suppose it is. It's
It
right
is the
in
third
the
quarter,
first quarter, isn't it?
It starts in July.
He just tries. It's me,
It's
isn't it?
not the
I
financial
victim.
quarter.
No, you're right.
I think it'll be October.
I was thinking October 31st. It's a Friday.
They just look at
Halloween.
the calendar,
Yeah.
I had another one and I've completely forgotten it now because you threw me a side ball of what? Never mind.
Threw you a side ball of what? I like that.
Joe.
My prediction is also Switch related. I think there's going to be a recall on the Joy-Cons.
Oh,
Something's going to happen with the
right.
connection system, I predict.
Of the new Switch 2.
The new one, the Switch 2, yeah. Because they're only held in with magnets on that patent thing. They're not like clipped in with a mechanical connection.
Oh, we'll see.
So I reckon they'll recall them and then put something else in place which holds them in a bit firmer. Unless they're super strong magnets, but you won't want them near a screen.
No, you wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is all based
something will
on
happen hardware-wise.
This is all based on the leaks, so you never know. You might change things up since then, but
there's been more since the last time. They didn't want to bring it up in the news because we talked about it too many times. But leaks of the actual motherboard are out now, and the placement of the USB-C slot and the card and all that.
I'm hoping we actually hear about it in February.
Yes.
Yeah. I think when you said it comes out in April, I'd go back on me agreeing. I'd say I think it's announced in April. And I think it'll come out in like May or June.
If I was looking at the original Switch, and it was something like January, February, they announced it, and it came out in March.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think April and then May or June.
Yeah. Maybe. I'm going to stick with my Feb, April.
Yeah, because it's end of financial year for them.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I also think they'll bring out a Pokemon game, and it'll be buggy as hell.
Well, it's already been announced, hasn't it? That Pokemon AZ or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's coming out. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've remembered my next one.
Go on.
Nintendo will sue someone.
Again.
But it'll be for something ridiculous, like they cut the same blade of grass as them.
Yeah. They'll sue Astro Bot for being a platformer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
You stole our idea. No more predictions? Lines are closed. You all had more than one each. So
we did, to be fair.
We did, to be fair.
I'm going to bring this episode to a close. You've already mentioned the socials very briefly, but I'll go over them again.
We have them.
We do have them. We're on Discord, our main hub. We are working on a website, thanks to Ben here.
Don't go there yet.
Don't go on it yet.
Don't go on it. We do have a domain, so soon you'll be able to catch us there as well. We're on YouTube, Blue Sky, X, Instagram, TikTok. Just search Gaming Garnish or Gaming Garnish Podcast on Google and you'll find us. Come join us on the Discord though. That's where we speak the most.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And with that, our New Year's episode draws to a close. Thank you for joining us, Jake.
Goodbye.
Brad.
See ya throughout 2025.
And Ben.
Woo, up the garnish. Bye.
I've been your host, Joe, and goodbye. Have a good year.
See you later.
I'm actually not going to put the outro on that now.
Definitely.
Let's loop Brad.